fascinating. Any phone number for Corey at all?
I think the same number as Graham's, but the last digits are different.
Well, I'll tell you what. What we'll do is have you dial that on my phone, and we will try it.
I should add that his sighting with the military craft, that is a modus operandi with a lot of stories of these sightings. There's military...
In that area.
Well, and in other areas too of the country where you see someone sights a UFO and then later they see military aircraft that they cannot identify. So that's not an uncommon story. Yeah,
that's true.
There's a lot of that down south.
Yeah.
Down south in the United States or down south in Washington State? Yeah, okay.
Excuse me. As long as we're talking about Glacier and we're looking at fireballs and jet fighters and all that. So when we got back from Glacier, I wrote a 17-sentence statement, and I'd like to read it.
Did you really?
Yay!
17?
17 sentences. Short.
Okay.
Okay. Here's another view of our weekend adventure. Each of us is consciously connected to sources outside of conventional reality through our experiences with extraterrestrial biological entities or some other metaphysical sources. They know we were there, and we knew they were there. So, let's see. Okay, as a group, we trekked to one of the world's UFO hotspots they may have noticed. Can you visualize the enormous electromagnetic imprint that we were creating up there?
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a potential there for about, 30 or 60 hours, I couldn't calculate, times 13 already connected humans. Something must have gone on, just because we can't see them, passing up such an opportunity to have a little influence on us. Maybe the show was for them.
Whoa, very good, Terry.
Nice.
That's an interesting statement.
Are you going to talk about the picture of
I think I have the number. Should I try it?
I think I should.
I think you should too.
I got it.
Yeah,
That
I think I
phone-
got it.
That
Like this number, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Oh.
want to call it on your phone or are we
I
going to
don't
call?
have fun.
okay. So,
I'm calling Corey right now.
okay, hand me the phone. And while we're calling him, we will maybe talk about this other thing that we have some info on. And let's see, speakerphone. Thank you. Hey, Corey, are you there?
I'm here, buddy.
Oh, thank God, we finally caught you. Is this
You got me. I'm just right out back of Graham's here at my in-laws, just sitting on the porch.
Oh, wonderful. Now, by the way, is this the same porch where your daughter first sighted this glowing orange orb, or was this a different place?
No, this is the exact same place, and it's the field that we all stood in together. That's my mother and father-in-law's field. They live directly behind Graham's, and this is exactly where we were.
Well, if you could, would you take a moment and just explain again your sighting and what happened?
Definitely. It was a typical night at Graham's restaurant. Busy. I had gotten off work and came over here to my in-laws like I normally do. My mother and father-in-law watch my daughter while me and Erica are hard at work at Graham's. I came out back in the field. My daughter, it was a nice, clear night. My daughter wanted to go out here and look at the stars, so we went out there like we normally do. And I looked over my shoulder because I thought I saw something out the corner of my eye, but at the same time, my daughter was like, "Dad, look at that, shooting star." And I looked at her, I was like, "Lily, that's not a shooting star. I mean, that thing is huge." And I thought it was, a low-flying plane at first because how bright the light was. But, it was bright orange, and if I had to, in proportion to the sky when you're looking at it, if there was a full moon out, it was the size of a full moon. It was huge.
Wow.
And I thought maybe it was a helicopter coming at us. We just couldn't hear it yet because that happens a lot. But no, this thing came right over the top of us. Me, Erica, my fiance, her mother, and my daughter. And, it was quick, but it wasn't a shooting star. It was fast enough for us to see, that it was kind of a make it out to where, like, the brightness of it. It wasn't actually like flames, but it was so bright to where you couldn't really make out anything other than it being round and bright orange. But it came over the top of us real quick and was heading towards Mount Baker, so it was going east, northeast on I-84, or on 542 here, I mean. And as it got over the tree line from us, like, immediately we saw 4 fighter jets just back to back, just shooting across the sky, chasing this thing. I mean, they were on its tail for sure, and it didn't have any noise at all, but those jets sure did when they came over us.
So in other words, do you suppose anyone else would have heard the jets go by?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole town of Glacier would have heard it. And it's not uncommon for us to hear military-style craft up here. I mean, there's been a lot of reportings from friends of mine and people that I don't even really know of, oh, what was that, Black Hawk-looking helicopter that flew over us this weekend, and what's going on in Glacier? And, it's been reported all the way down as far as the Nooksack, like where the market store is down there, and that's probably a 15-20-minute drive here from Glacier, and people see it all up and down the mountain all the time with military aircraft, and we don't really know what's going on.
But I suppose it doesn't happen very often that the military aircraft are chasing orange fireballs streaking across the sky. Is that true?
Yeah. I don't think we would even know.
except for the roar of the jets going by, that's for sure. Gosh.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, with the quote battery project going on up here in Glacier, where they turn our power out at least 2 or 3 times a month. The government and PSE and everybody says that it's an experimental project where they're trying to basically take the energy out of car batteries, and they put them in these like storage units behind Graham's here. It's not far. I mean, it's walking distance from where I am now. They put them in these storage unit looking things, and they're getting the energy out of the batteries, and it's supposed to be enough energy to power the town. But they've been working on this for a few years now, and the only thing that it's benefited Glacier, it really hasn't benefited Glacier at all. I mean, it's pretty much ruined a lot of appliances for a lot of people, and, either before or after, there's always some kind of activity in the sky before our power outages go out.
Hey, Corey, this is Jock. I just wanted to ask you a question about the direction. I've seen the picture, and I've talked to you, I think. But was the direction of the glowing ball, the orange, was it orange, right? Or was it kind of a gold color? Was it headed toward Mount Baker, or was it...
It was headed towards, direct path to, if you were to cut a line over this field, it was going directly towards Mount Baker.
Well, Corey, just so you know, we, just before we called you, or you called us, we had Lee show a whole bunch of footage that he took up on the Canyon Creek of multiple streaks of light, balls of light, streaking into, basically, towards Mount Baker. It was just astonishing. He said, how many in the 30?
15 total.
15 total
some,
lights.
Yeah, some of them were the size of a 3-story building. I mean, they're just huge.
And
Definitely.
They're all disappearing in front of or into Mount Baker from different directions. So, man, you got something going on up there.
Yeah, definitely, you guys. And I don't see as many sightings or hear of many sightings from people that are actually up on the mountain, like say Artist Point. But a lot of us that are down here, we see it and we hear it, but it's pretty much gone. Like, I don't know if they just kind of disappear or turn the lights off before they hit the mountain and people aren't getting the video. But that would be great if we had some actual footage from up on the mountain.
That's exactly what's happening. They go right to the horizon line of the mountain, and they disappear every time.
And it's just gone. Yeah. The jets included. They don't come back, and they don't do a circle. The helicopters don't circle Glacier or anything. It's a one-time thing, and being surrounded by all these hills, Glacier, will hear any type of this whole town of Glacier here will hear any type of helicopter or aircraft flying over it, and this is not a normal flight path. I mean, I sit out here and look at the sky all day long, and this is not a normal path for flight to be going over us. I mean, you go down to Bellingham, you can look up in the sky, 9 times out of 10 you're going to see an airplane. Up here, you don't see many airplanes at all. So when you do, you hear them first, and then you just look up like, oh, where is it? And yeah, like you said, they're disappearing before they even get to the mountain.
Well, and you'll be interested to hear. I talked with Dr. Richard Haynes today about your case, your specific sighting, and I told him about the 4 potentially FA-18 fighter jets following this yellow streak of light fireball, and he says that he thinks these are coming out of Whidbey Island Naval Air Base. The reason he says that is that
I have heard that.
Every 40 minutes, almost on the button, he sees flights of FA-18 jets taking off from the airbase and streaking out and doing their practice missions. So it's possible these guys are doing something, and in the area generally, and then if they get something tracked like an orange fireball, they're on it as quick as possible, maybe.
Also, they
exactly. It's kind of amazing that they choose a spot up here in Glacier where any 15-20 minute drive from this little town, we can be over a hill and we're in Canada. So being on our country's border, and they are scrambling these test runs right on the border of another country is kind of weird too. Like, why wouldn't they spend their time over, practicing over a city or closer to Seattle or our capital, Olympia, or something like that? Why are they focusing so much on Mount Baker? Very interesting.
Good point.
Well, I have heard also that they've increased the number of supposedly tests out of Whidbey, and it's been the people that are crazy because it's like all night long. Interesting.
Yeah, I've seen that news also. Post extremely irritated with the light and just rumbling. Houses, and I mean that's kind of how it is living here in this little dip here in the hills in Glacier.
Fire.
I showed it to my wife too, and she was like, "Wow, that's a beautiful picture." And I hope you get a copy of it, Brian, if you're listening.
Oh, you will, buddy, for sure. By the way, what does it feel like when you actually see something that you've been keeping in your mind for so long on paper and actually being able to show other people what happened? What do you feel when you see that?
And I felt that it was that it saw. To put it down on paper like that just blew my mind. I gave him, very little detail as much detail as I could. It was a dark night, and you're in the middle of Glacier. I'm trying till I've been here times. So for him to get that, that exact feeling out of the picture definitely blew my mind.
And we will also direct the folks that are listening tonight all around the world, by the